As for our local team, the Dallas Cowboys, they leave for Chicago tomorrow to take on the Bears Sunday. And joining me with our game preview is our friend, Locked On Cowboys podcast host, Landon McCool. Landon, thanks for joining us. And let's start with the injury report. Deron Bland missed last week's game. That Dallas secondary could use some help. What are you hearing about him and the other injuries?
Yeah, it definitely feels like Bland is going to be the lone Cowboy that is going to miss this game specifically. And the hope is that he could get back next week for Green Bay. That's been the kind of target that they've been talking about since the injury came out. So, definitely I'm planning on him to be missing this game, but hopefully back next week for Green Bay.
On the offensive side of the ball, Cowboys put up 40 last week against the Giants. What are you seeing right now with that offense that appears to be clicking?
Dak's just playing really great football. I mean, I think anytime that the Cowboys have provided him multiple pass options, multiple weapons in this past game, we've seen that Dak has performed at a high level. And I think, coming back this year from the injury, he looks a lot more spry. He looks a little bit moving around a lot better. I think he took the injury as an indication that he needed to get into better running shape. And we saw that at the end of the game last week, right? He was able to make that scramble at the end of the game in the overtime to set themselves up to kick the game-winning field goal. And I think that combined with the additional, resources added at the wide receiver position, what we've seen from Pickens, even when he isn't catching the ball, he's getting, pass interference calls down the field, and that's helping move the ball. I think it's just opened things up for this offense. And then on top of that, the changes made in the run game with Clayton Adams and Javonte Williams, I think they've found an efficiency in the run game that they haven't had in a couple years. And you combine that with the downfield passing attack, and it's pretty explosive.
Yeah, really good from Dak through 2 games. Okay, Bears new head coach Ben Johnson, the former Lions offensive coordinator. He was a hot prospect for teams needing a head coach. I know a lot of people wanted to see him here in Dallas, but what should we expect to see from him and the Bears this Sunday?
A very buttoned up opening game script, right? Like, I think that what we've seen so far with Chicago is that it's kind of a mixture of minds, right? Like, Ben Johnson wants to have a very precise, very well thought out. He's a very top X's and O's guy. And Caleb Williams is more of a guy that has struggled to operate in structure at times and has done some of his best stuff getting out of the pocket and operating on the outside. So I think as Caleb Williams gets used to and adjusts to what Ben Johnson's asking him to do, I think that this offense will become more dangerous. But as it is right now, it feels like when you watch these games, you watch the opening script play out, and he's getting the ball out quick, and it's to his first read. They're moving the ball. They're attacking in the high red zone. And then once those first 15 or 20 initial plays kind of fade away, it seems like it's a little bit more wide open. You can get Caleb Williams to try to come off his first read. You can pressure him a little bit more, and he kind of falls back to a little bit of what we saw last year with 2024 Caleb Williams.
Yeah, we'll see how the Dallas defense corrals him. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who wins? How close will it be?
I think this is going to be a really close game. These are 2 teams that really need to win this game. I mean, the Cowboys obviously have a better record, but it would be terrible for a new head coach to go 0-3 and lose to the former head coach who's the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, obviously. But I'm picking the Cowboys. I trust the Cowboys offense more than I trust the Bears offense right now. I think those are the 2 dominating forces. At some point, this Bears offense is going to explode this year. I really do believe that. I'm hoping that the Cowboys delay it just 1 week, please.
A desperate team can be dangerous. Thank you, Landon, for joining us. And you can catch Landon with a new episode of Locked On Cowboys today at 1 p.m. on our streaming platform, WFAA Plus, or any day wherever you get your podcast. As